goes.
Is part of that trick you can't be on the brakes either. You want that wheel to immediately start the turning moment. You're on the brakes when you come down, it won't do it.
Part of that trick is to instinctively react before your mind has time to think. We just saw a glimpse of Scott Goodyear back there. He's clawing his way up slowly. Now he is 18th.
Michael Andretti 4.4 seconds ahead of second place Al Unser Jr. There's Junior as he begins to close down. Michael got bottled up a little bit there behind Hero. Now he's clear, begins to pull away. Traffic is smooth in front of him. So as we look over the top of the stadium and down into Falls Creek, it's Michael Andretti still leading here in Vancouver. Here in Vancouver, Michael Andretti being chased by Al Unser Jr. is closed right in. Battles right at the front, third place. Paul Tracy is about 16 seconds back from this fight. Gary Gerald?
Well, just as Paul Tracy gambled, Al Unser and Roger Penske have also gambled somewhat on that last stop. We've just confirmed with the Penske crew it was a short fill of fuel for Unser. So keep that in mind. He's a little lighter than the others. It may make him a bit quicker. He and Tracy gambling that advantage will pay off later with a possible yellow flag situation.
And consequently, that lightweight allowed him to push the fastest lap just up another little bit, 107 plus miles an hour. Now he locks him.
Oh! Al Unser Jr. locks him up, keeps it going. That could have been a disaster.
He is playing with fire here because his championship hopes lie on the fact that he has to be mistake-free. Look how close he goes to the concrete wall here, but it's all or nothing for Al Jr.
Now remember that Jack Villeneuve has to be in the top 5 to score his championship here as we watch little Al again.
Front tires locked up again, misses the turn-in point and gets away and dodges another bullet.
Let's in fact review that championship for you. Right now, Villeneuve runs in 11th place while Unser Jr. is sitting up there in second. Now, if Al would win that appeal, then based on the points at this moment, Jack would have 171, Al Unser Jr. would have 154, a 17-point difference, which means that the championship would go on to the final race of the season at Laguna.
You think Al is hanging back and taking a deep breath here? Look, what, 10 car lengths between them now? That was a risky move. And you have to get your nose all the way beside Michael Andretti's car, or you can be in trouble here because Michael can be difficult to pass and Greco
Well, with
is in
Greco
trouble.
at the edge of the course in a precarious area, full course yellow. The pace car will come out. Paul Tracy from 17 seconds back will close up on Al Unser Jr. and Michael Andretti. And indication is that the leaders of the race will not take advantage of this yellow for the stops. It has, after all, only been about 10 laps since they were last in the pits. Today's coverage of the Molson Indy Vancouver is being brought to you by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. By PPG, world leaders in automotive finishes, sponsor of the PPG IndyCar World Series. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, as we go back to green flag racing, the full course yellow had some fascinating pit action. Into the pits, Jack Villeneuve, who came out of the pits with stickers on the right side, also into the pits as we watch the battle at the front between Michael Andretti and Al Unser Jr. with Bobby Rahal and Emerson Fittipaldi. Boy, look at them battle as they come through here, and it looks like Fernandez gets caught just outside of Carlos Guerrero as they come around the corner. Both of them get through clear. But what this did do was eliminate the advantage that first and second had over third place Paul Tracy. Bunched everybody back up just beyond the halfway point here in Vancouver.
And that is Scott Goodyear you see in the mix there. He's a lap down. He is 16th, but he may be able to run at the pace of the leaders because Paul Tracy is the next man behind him. There he is. He's got Gordon behind him. Gordon, one of the few front-running Goodyear runners.
Oh, come on, Gordy.
Goodyear runners who's still on the softer of the Goodyear tires. Look at this.
Boy, Robbie Gordon in trouble 3 different times, but still is able to get around Bosell. And now back chasing Paul Tracy for third. Vassell, of course, not on the leader lap. There are 14 cars on the leader lap. Interestingly enough, 14th position. Last car on the lead lap is Jacques Villeneuve. Get a glimpse from time to time of the yellow Pennzoil car of De Ferran for a backup car. He's having a great day, running 5th right now.
There he is, 6 seconds, just over 6 seconds behind Michael in this great battle with Al Jr. all the way down. Scott Pruitt still runs well. Brian Herta made up 2 places from 10th after that pit stop. Ribeiro now started 16th, running 6th. Good run for the second Tasman car. National hero now in Brazil is Andre Ribeiro. Here's Gordon. Watch the jerk sideways on Boesel.
Boesel, of course, worried about not only his left side, but a slowing car just ahead of him until Tracy was able to finally kick the gears up and get her rolling. Junior all over Michael Andretti. For Junior and the Penske team, the philosophy is really simple. We got to win them both. This race and the final race in 1 week at Laguna. Christian Fittipaldi out of the race. Jan Beekes is with him.
Christian, you brought your car on pit road. What knocked you out?
First, I had a flat tire on the start. The tire just blew up down the straight. I don't know why. Second, at the same time, I had a turbo problem right in the beginning of the race, and then we were just running about short of 80, 90 horsepower. I just kept it going, but unfortunately, it really gave up right now.
You're on the softer tires. I see a setback here that has big blisters. Was that a problem driving on that compound?
That was also a problem during the race. That's why I had pitted so many times, but apart from that, the car wasn't working since the first lap. Like, there was definitely a turbo problem. Instead of running 45 inches on the boost, I was running around 43.8, 44 maximum.
Okay, we wish you better luck at Laguna. Thanks.
De Ferran and Ribeiro battling. Ribeiro just getting around. You got a glimpse of it, getting around De Ferran, picking up 5th place.
And that side-by-side drag that we watch with De Ferran is a very difficult move to pull off right outside our booth here. The left-hander at 160 miles an hour. Look how these cars fight for grip through that right-hander as they bounce over those severe bumps. Watch Ribeiro.
Ribeiro, yeah, there's the situation that got him out of position.
Well, that's exactly what we just spoke about. This is the left-hander that we just mentioned. It's so difficult to go side by side through that left-hander, and Ribeiro just smacks that outside wall, destroys the right side of that Tasman Honda. So the LCI phone lines to Brazil won't be talking about success this weekend.
Ribeiro sits in the car. The wheel chased him all the way down, finally bounced off the back end, and we anticipate full course yellow anytime on that car while they get the vehicle out. This is Ribeiro's 9th DNF of his rookie season, but of course one of them a win though 2 weeks ago at Loudon. There's the full course yellow, and once again the front of the field will close in, and once again I expect we're going to see some tactics played in the pits. But now Scott Goodyear, the only Tasman entry, and he is running in 15th position as Ribeiro is out. Now has the lead of the race.
And he has spent 59 laps threatening to do and pull off a move like that, and he finally does it, and he did it on horsepower and a drag down to the corner.
So Unser Jr. where he wants and needs to be at the front of the field. Brian Herta after the stops is 3rd. Bobby Rahal is 4th. Emerson Fittipaldi is 5th. And Michael locks up the rear brake. Saw something there. Looked like a piece of paper off of the track. But boy, look how tight that battle is.
Something flew off. Now Al Jr. still has the fastest lap of the race. But Michael is so good in attack situations like this.
Look at Michael as he pokes right up under Al Unser Jr. They come to the straight. Raul Boesel still very much a factor, but he is fast and trying to keep from going a lap down.
That is a key. He's not a lap down yet, so if he thinks he has the speed, he'll try and stay ahead of these boys. Oh, Al Jr.'s all over him.
Junior just loved to get past him and stick Michael Andretti with him, but he can't do it.
Michael loves it. Michael loves when Boesel stays there. Oh, trouble.
Michael slowed. Something broke? No. Missed a gear, maybe.
Pulled away with real low revs there. I can't make out what that was.
I can't either.
Something flew off, and then we saw Michael lock up those tires.
Might have been a tearaway, might have been something on the car. Gary, you have any idea?
Crew indicated radio conversation related to gearbox. We don't know if it's a problem that he'll have or if he just missed a gear, but they just showed me the shift sign, the gearbox. So they may have just missed a shift. We'll watch him and see if he continues to get back up to speed.
Well, he ran the last lap at just over 106. So we'll keep an eye on him now.
The sequential gearbox.
Look, he's not coming off that corner nearly as fast as everybody else.
He's lost his low gears. Look at Tracy and Gugelman side by side.
Look at the entire group as they come roaring through there. And Michael getting bottled up on the inside. So now Herta comes up, as does Rahal. And Gugelman, there he is, as he climbs over the back of Tracy. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Confirmation from Michael Andretti to the crew. Second gear is gone. No second gear. That's a major problem, obviously.
And at the same time, Jack Villeneuve has moved up in the field as he's now getting back into the points.
The most used gear in the gearbox as Schiattarella again does a 180 and they pull him back off the racing line. But the most used gear here is that second. Michael is in deep, deep trouble now, and Al Jr. suddenly it gets easier, and he is furious that Bozell will not move over and let him through.
Well, now remember, they have a new ruling on the flags. They can show Bozell a flag that says, get out of the way. It's no longer an advisory. It's, you're going to have to get out of the way of the car behind you because, in fact, you are holding him up. And what he is doing is holding him up while Bobby Rahal is able to close from second. Herta third, Tracy fourth.
Villeneuve in a battle back there with Emerson. Gugelman in a fight here with Tracy. This is what happens at Vancouver when you have yellow flags. It bunches everybody up again, and Villeneuve is back in the mix. Currently running in 10th place.
Position. So Unser Jr. exactly where he needs to be, but Bobby Rahal and Brian Herta beginning to try their close now with 63 laps complete. It was Paul Tracy trying to close on Brian Herta and Bobby Rahal. Herta and Tracy got together in the hairpin, and boy, they're in trouble now.
And Tracy bounced off the wall earlier, down inside Brian Herta. This is the hairpin. He looks as if he's alongside here. The rear wheels are locked up. Look at this. Brian Herta is an innocent victim here.
And it takes out Gugelman, too.
Clouded from both sides because Paul Tracy locked up the rear brakes, trying to pull off that move.
But DeFerrin, who was up in the air on the first lap of this race, slides into third with that incident. Now you ride with Paul Tracy.
Down the inside. He gets alongside. Watch him. Watch the steering. Now he knows he's in trouble. Rears a lock. Boom. Hits Brian Herta, who in turn gets clouted by Gugelman. They're both out.
And Michael Andretti also out, eh, Gary Gerald?
Brutal fortune for the Newman Haas. Michael, so many times this year we've been in this situation where it looks like you've got control of a race, then it was gearbox problem.
Yeah, some happened with the gears. I just started missing them all, and it started jumping out of gears, and I could only stay in second gear, so it wasn't even worth staying out.
From what you've seen out there at this point, is Al the guy now to beat? Has he got everybody covered, or can anybody track him down?
I don't think so, because guys like Bobby, their tires tend to go off halfway through the run, and Al seemed to stay about the same as mine, and I think I was the only one that could run with him.
Thank you, Michael.
In the last 11 IndyCar races held here in Canada, 10 have been won by either Michael or Al Unser Jr. Michael's out. Little Al leads it.
Oh, he does, but it's not a comfortable lead. Look at Rahal on the attack here. Rahal surprised everybody when he jumped way up the standings during qualifying yesterday to start in third place, despite how sick he was. In fact, the doctors told him not to bother trying to run the car on Saturday. He thought better, had a great qualifying run. And now Al Jr.